There she is. Yes.
Hey, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. We have an amazing Zoom. I always call her my It Works idol, who I love and cherish, and my sister that I've known for 3.5 years. She is incredible. She's a top 30 income earner, ambassador diamond, and her husband's a presidential diamond, super close to ambassador. And her 2.0 spot is also super close to diamond. And this girl is going for black diamond. So we have almost black diamond. She's going black diamond. She's taking our team black diamond. Sarah Rankin. And so she's amazing. She's from Toledo, Ohio. She decided to get the hell out of there and move to Florida. So she is now in Florida enjoying usually the sun, but right now it's a monsoon. So
yeah.
Sarah, it's all yours, babe.
Hi, Dina. Thanks for having me. It's so good to be able to see your guys' faces. Usually I'm just pacing back and forth in my kitchen or in the bedroom or outside, anywhere I can pace with a signal. This kind of forces me to stay put. It's a huge challenge on my ADD. So if you see me going way left field or right field, just deal. It gets better. I don't know how my husband deals with it, but he does. I can't believe it's been 3.5 years, Dana. That's insane. I remember still walking into Atlanta boot camp. Was it Atlanta or St. Louis?
Well, I saw you at conference. First, I saw her at conference right after they announced the good bonus. And we literally bumped into each other because we were both down on our phones messaging away. And she figured out that I was in her downline because me at that point, I'm like, I don't know what an upline is. I don't know what you're talking about. But we found out I was in her downline, and she scooped me up and picked me up, and she looked at me, and the best words of advice that she ever gave me is that you are worthy of this, and you can do anything you set your mind to. Put your feet to the ground, put your head down, and get your hands dirty and start running. You are headed to the top. And then
You're always so good at quoting me. Sometimes she repeats me, and I'm like, dang, like you were really listening. It just goes to show. When somebody has an aha moment, it hits you like a freight train. And so 6 years ago when I started this, I had my first aha moment. I was standing in my 1-bedroom apartment in Toledo, Ohio. Literally, it was in the parking lot of TGI Fridays, so the smell of steak was just always wafting through the windows. I was a personal trainer running a ladies-only gym, and this woman walks in, and she blitzed me. I never have a blitz card right here. But hopefully all of you know what blitzing is. If not, we'll talk about that later. This thing sat on my desk. I mean, you could probably imagine what was going through my mind. I'm sure it went through all of your minds too. There's no freaking way that this thing works in the nicest way possible. I don't know how many little ears are around all of you. I love Jesus, but I cuss a little, okay? So I'm just going to put that out there.
I love Jesus.
I love Jesus. There always has to be one. And so probably 2 weeks went by. She was really smart, though, because even though she came to the gym and even though I said no, she took my card, she gave me hers, and then she went home and she found me on Facebook. And, I mean, I'm not going to say, no, we can't be friends on Facebook. That's totally a new thing, and it's only done if you're completely crazy spammy. So I added her, and 2 weeks probably went by where she was just sharing her story, just life stuff. And I started to put together that this woman didn't have a day job, that this is what she did, was network marketing. I had never done anything like this before. And it just irked me even more that she was making all of this money off of this crazy skinny sticker. I mean, it went against everything that I knew as a trainer. So I called her. She didn't have any reps, and she says, but you need to try it. And so if you want to try it, it's $199 to get started. That's right. It was $199 to get started back then, not $99. And I was like, what? I don't know. But it was just that moment, you know, that pivot where she was the conduit. All I needed was that one opportunity, that one moment. And I made that decision by what I know now to be just the Holy Spirit going boop and pushing me. And I really just did because in the back of my mind, I wanted to be a hater. I couldn't wait to get this thing, tear it apart, and do it all over Facebook. And how cool would it have been to tear it apart all over Facebook Live is all I can think of now. Like now I have to share it on Facebook Live because, damn it, this thing worked. And that's exactly what happened. It freaking worked that night. And so everything changed right there in just 45 minutes. When I took this thing off, I saw it works on me. It works on my then boyfriend, now husband. it wasn't a matter of if this works anymore. It was, what do I need to do to be a part of it? How do you make money with it? Why isn't Shape magazine coming to my doorstep with this on the front cover? Why isn't Oprah talking about it? Like, Homegirl's supposed to have our backs, and she has not told us anything about this. Dr. Oz, quiet as a church mouse. He didn't freaking have anything to say about this crazy rap thing. So I just saw the golden opportunity. Now, I can't tell you at that moment that I actually believed I was going to be a millionaire, but I started saying it.
I forgot to announce that. She's also a millionaire. I posted that in the team page, but she is a millionaire with It Works Global. She has made $1 million with It Works.
I have to prove it.
I am so sorry. I forgot, because that is a huge accomplishment. And I was cheering really loud at conference, and I started crying at conference when it was announced. I can't. Sarah does me to ugly cry a lot. It's okay.
I can't say I actually believed I would make it, but I started saying it. And then, they said, get people together. So okay, let's get people together. I started telling everyone I know. And I thought that this was going to be really easy. Like, here I am, a personal trainer, running a ladies only gym. I was pretty well networked in the city because I grew up there. I was a bar star for a second. So I knew quite a few business owners, restaurant owners, service industry people, because I bartended and stuff on the side. Well, that's not exactly how it went. All of my friends were like, oh, okay, look at what Savage has gotten herself into now. Like, okay, stand by. They were just waiting for it to blow up in my face. And it was, a couple of things happened. I realized I wasn't as supported as I thought I was. My dreams were a little bit crazier than everyone else's. And clearly I was surrounded by stupid, because I'm telling you it worked. I can prove it. And you're not going to jump on and make money with this crazy, awesome opportunity. Some of the people are still broke in their same dead-end jobs that they were in 6 years ago. And now I've graduated from that, 1-bedroom apartment. Then we upgraded to a 2-bedroom townhouse. Then we upgraded to a cute little split-level home. And now we're in this awesome, we call it the Tiki Hut house here in Florida. And now we're literally building from the ground up, from scratch. They haven't even moved the soil yet. Like, we just kissed the blueprints and all of the designs. A house straight off of our Pinterest board. Something that is very similar to what I have pinned in front of me. That still might be one step up on my dream board right there. But if you go back and just see how my dream boards have gone, it's been crazy, because one by one, I was able to start pulling these dreams down. And what started as $500, because I thought $500 a month would pay my rent in that first apartment. My rent was $525, and I know it's pretty cheap, especially if you're out in Utah. You guys are like, what? But 2 weeks after I got started with It Works, I lost my job. Showed up one day, the gym doors were locked. They had been shut down for tax evasion. He literally kept my last month's salary. And here I am again, about to just backslide into living back out of the back of my truck. I mean, my cat box was literally in the back of my Ford Explorer. I crashed on friends' couches. If it weren't for my best friend Carly, I don't know where I would be. They fed me every night. They let me sleep in their attic when I had no place to go. Like, it got tough. And so I was faced with the decision, go back to what has happened previously, or make this crazy rap thing work. And with my friends telling me no, my network not really getting it, they're still just kind of coming around. And I hear it all the time. I should have started 6 years ago. I'm like, no, because you wouldn't be here today. There's no way I would have been patient enough to tolerate your ass. Like, there's no way. I would have moved on a million times ago. I guess my point of my story is, I went from this, nobody was interested, right? Nobody was interested, to now all of these accomplishments, that Dana so graciously listed off for me earlier. Now, life is not only taken a complete turn, but things that I didn't even know my little heart could dream about are starting to come alive inside of me. You know, not only is it enough to have a paycheck and security for my family, but now I need it for my team, and I want it for my team and their families. Not only is it enough to build our dream house, but now I want to build neighborhoods of houses for families that don't have them. You know, I don't want to just rescue one dog. I want to rescue all the dogs. I want to save the dolphins and replant all the trees. And it's crazy because when you have money, all of these things that sound so crazy really aren't that hard to contribute to. And when you have time, being able to volunteer and get involved with the things that you're passionate about, even though right now sitting here, you might not know what that is. I wish that there was a word to give that to you. I guess my question for all of you guys would be, have you ever wondered if there's more? You know, you're all here, you're on a Zoom, so clearly you want to grow in some way. I'm sure Dana didn't come to your house and hold a gun to your head and say, you better get on this Zoom. There's a good chance she'd text you and was like, don't make me look stupid.
Yeah,
probably. But I mean, how many of you guys can say, like, just show me of hands that you want more? Dreams, money, yeah. So the question, I guess, is for everybody is what is holding you back? And to take you backwards in my story a little bit, you know, let's go into year 2. I'm at Double Diamond and had been for a while. Double Diamond was an amazing accomplishment. It was about $6,000 a month, which was insane. Remember, $525 covered my rent, and that's what I was looking for when I got started. Then I lost my job. And now fast forward, I'm making $6,000 a month. You know what comes in between there, right? It's steps to success, talking to more people, doing all the things, right? We can do social media. We learn how to grow and be better. We can do events. We learn how to grow and be better. We can do wrap parties. We learn how to grow and be better. Like everything that you can do, no matter which way you decide to grow your business, all of the things is my favorite way to grow the business because I have ADD, so it constantly keeps me creative. But so there I was. You what?
I said, that's a good way to look at it. Just do everything.
I don't like routine so much. Now, I do need structure. So there is a certain, you ask me, what are you going to do this week? I can tell you almost every single day what I'm going to do to a certain extent. I've got windows, right? But, well, we can talk schedules on a different day if that's something you want. So there I was sitting at Double Diamond, $6,000 a month, more money than I'd ever made in 1 month in my life. And it's residual income, which means essentially that you can sit on your ass and it's still going to show up every month on the 15th. Well, I'll never forget when I took 2 months off, AKA, when I say take 2 months off, that means you didn't sign any loyal customers, you didn't sign any distributors, you did not complete your steps to success. And for those 2 months, I didn't. And it was October and November. I'll never forget it because I look back at those 2 months later at the Dash and realized what it did to my chances of being in top 50 at that time. And it pushed me back quite a bit, which was away from my goals. So somebody in my upline calls me and she says, can I ask you a question? And I said, yeah. She goes, do you think that you're working hard enough to make $6,000 a month and not have to show up? And I was like, no. She goes, okay. So do you plan on doing anything about that? Or like you just going to take this paid vacation until it ends? And I was like, well, I mean, if this part of my team does what they say they're going to do, and if these 4 prospects that I've been stalking for the past 6 months decide to show up, then I could build a new Ruby over here, and then maybe this could happen, and maybe that could happen. And she goes, okay, well, I don't have time for that, so why don't you call me back and let me know when you decide how much money you want to make? And what's crazy is when I first met her, she told me if I would give her 6 years, or if I would give her 5 years, I'm saying 6 now, but if I would give her 5 years, she'd teach me how to make $100,000 a month. Now, at the time, there was no such thing as a black diamond. Nobody had done it. This was just something that we had decided was going to happen for this company. Now here I am 6 years later, and I can tell you it absolutely is, without a doubt, completely achievable from any single one of you if that goal or something bigger than where you're at is what you want. You can absolutely do it. I have told countless friends now, you want to be in the top 50 black diamonds? Let's go, because this is where that company's going. The bus is moving, whether we get on it or not. That's the crazy thing. Yeah, you get next month, you can try again, but the company will never be what it is today. Tomorrow. Like, we're ever growing, new leaders are popping, game is always changing, And every day you wait is just one more day you're away from seeing what the future really holds. So I got off the phone and I just said, okay, I'm done. And I called another mentor, because that's what you do when you get stuck. You reach out, you talk to people, you know, send a Facebook message, you call, you Vox, you stalk until they answer the phone, and you get the information that you are looking for. If you keep asking and they're giving you the same answer and it's not hitting home for you, don't stop looking for that answer. Every time you feel like you're stuck, you're just one aha moment away from changing your life. And that's exactly where I was sitting. I was one aha moment away. And so I called Pam Souter and I said, listen, I just don't know what to do. You know, $6,000 a month, that's more than I've ever made. And she goes, well, do you want to make more? And I was like, well, you know, I didn't believe that I was worth any more than that, because that was already so much more than I ever thought I was worth. And so now here I am sitting here to say to you that you are worthy of your wildest dreams. And who are we to put a price on our crown? And if only I could go back in time and just tell that little girl way sooner, the personal development journey wouldn't have been as hard as it has been, because they're all deep-rooted fears and childhood issues that had me feeling like that, feeling unloved and unworthy. But anyway, she goes, so what do you want, Sarah? And I said, I want to leave a legacy for my family. I want to be different. I don't want my kids to have to go through this or that. I want to be able to say no because I want to, not because I have to. I want to be able to give back. I want to save the dolphins. I want to buy my family farm. I want to build a house. I want to have babies, bring my husband home, and live happily ever after while changing the world. Is that too much to ask? And she was like, no. So what's the problem? And she goes, why are you holding yourself hostage for your parents' mistakes? And that's what it kept coming back to. I felt like I deserved so much less because of where I had come from. Not because my parents are bad people, just because we were raised with just enough. Like we always had just enough food to get by, just enough money to get by. I've always known some type of struggle. So to break free from that reoccurring pattern, it took intention, and I had to decide I wanted more. So she said, what's the problem? I said, well, all these people joined my team. And she said, okay. And I said, what's the problem? I said, well, they said that they were going to do this. She goes, do people lie? I say, yes, Pam, people lie. She's like, so what else is the problem? And I'm like, well, this person and this person, they were my ride or die chicks. Like we were going to go all the way to ambassador together. And then so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. And she put up with my crap for like 2.5 seconds and interrupted me. And she's like, do people quit? And I was like, yeah. And so I sat there and I thought about it. And I had actually quit everything that I had ever done in my life up until that point. Relationships, college, God at a certain point, every sport, every passion, painting, drawing, skating, you name it, anything that brought me joy or gave me the opportunity to grow. It seemed like at that point in my life, I had quit all of that. And she goes, Sarah, there's two things I'm not. I'm not a liar and I'm not a quitter. That's why I'm a multimillionaire. And I was like, oh. And she goes, so what are you going to do? Are you going to quit? And I was like, no. And that was the day that I realized I had been settling and I had been complacent. And if you're complacent, I see little ears, so I won't say it. You are F-U-C-K-E-D, right? You are effed. If you're just sitting there cozy at your $200, your $300, your $500, or $5,000, $10,000 a month, you're not going to go any further than that. If you're not comfortable in that place, it's okay. You just got to get honest and you have to say, all right, I deserve more and I'm willing to go for it. I'm willing to work for it. That was the big thing with me is I kept saying I was afraid of success. That's not the truth. I wasn't afraid of success. I was afraid of hard work. I had never given anything in my life my all. You know, you say you do sometimes, but really, have you? And so I decided that day I was going to. And then it didn't matter who was on my team and who wanted to come with me, that I would find a new team, and I wasn't going to stop. And then I was just going to keep dreaming bigger to prove to them that you could too. And I recently found a quote that was like, you were assigned this mountain to show others how to move it. And I was like, yes, this is my mountain. I'm sitting here telling you it's 100% possible for every single one of you to go black diamond. And I know most of you are sitting here probably in the position of Ruby, like, can I go diamond? You absolutely can. But first you have to be okay with getting uncomfortable and dreaming bigger and believing in more. And now there's not a single day that goes by where I don't thank God that he didn't give me what I thought I deserved, because I thought I deserved so little. And I surrounded myself with people who also believed that. And that became very evident when I tried to break out of that box. They weren't there to throw glitter at you anymore. They were there to throw apples and eggs because they didn't like what you were doing. You start to get too successful, it makes people uncomfortable because they see a lot of their insecurities in you. They see all the things that they can't do and the things that you are. And the closer you are to something and the more that you believe you can do it, the more they're going to challenge it and try to slow you down. And it comes in all shapes, sizes, and forms, whether it be your spouse, your family members, some strangers on the street, or this weird rejection that you've been holding on to from junior high. So you guys all have to decide to stop playing small, because I know, just talking to Dana, that's where a few of you are at. You're cushy, you're cozy, and you're lazy right now. And it's summer, and I get that. We're not here to make excuses or go toe-to-toe on why any of us haven't been working. Today we get to press bloop and start all over. It's a new month. And the way that I see it, I've looked at quite a few of your charts. You've got a lot going on. A lot of you are really close to your first, second, and third promotions. And that's huge. That executive ruby, emerald diamond slot right there, that's huge. Not only do you get to see life-changing money, but you start to get to see people on your team who are making that money. And for me, that's what's kept me going. Like when people say, how do you stay motivated all the time? Well, I'm motivated because I know ultimately what I want to be able to provide for my family. I'm motivated because I know where I want to go in life. And so that would be one thing. What do you guys want? Get really clear on that tonight. What do you want? Why do you want it? Those are the two things you absolutely have to know. And don't give me some BS response like, I want to go diamond because I get a $5,000 high five bonus. It's way more than that. And you know it is. So dig deep and figure it out. Think about that residual income. What happens when you pay off that credit card that's supposedly the reason you got started? What happens when you still have an extra $5,000 a month coming in? What happens when you have $5,000 a month coming in outside of all of your bills and your mortgage? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to bless? How are you going to give back? What are you going to do for your family? What are you going to save for? There's so many opportunities, and so many opportunities to do things, and not enough opportunities out there like it works for people to do them. That's why they look at us like we're crazy. And part of me is really happy that this is still a secret, because if it weren't, everyone would be doing it and we all wouldn't be in the position we're in right now. But that's also not to say that 5 years from now, it's still going to be this kind of opportunity. You know, there are people who in these companies that have been around for 30, 40, 50 years now, big companies out there like Amway, you guys know of quite a few of these that are still making a lot of money, a lot of residual income. And so my challenge for you guys is to start thinking about what you really want. There's the reason that you got started. For me, was my $500 to pay my rent. And then there was what I really wanted. And, you know, my uplines kind of pushed me into making this dream board. And I was like, I guess I got to make this thing. And I had a hard time with that. And that's where I realized maybe I didn't have as many dreams as I thought I did. I started putting these things on the boards. But I found myself even playing small with some of those things. Like I'd go, ooh, I really want this shiny Mercedes. And I put the Mercedes up. But then I was like, ooh, but that's a big dream. And that's a lot of money. And Sarah, like your people, you don't drive Mercedes. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen too many rednecks rolling around in Benzes. Like, it just doesn't happen, right? It's not my people. Now, when I roll, and so then I had to channel my people, and I was like, well, a new Honda Civic, totally acceptable by all rednecks. They're like, I can't believe you went with the Honda, but it's fine. You can park it in the driveway. So I put the new Honda like right above the Mercedes. And every day I would walk by and I'd see all these dreams. And, you know, there was baby, debt-free, get healthy, stop smoking, blah, 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 all these things. I'd go, then there's a Honda. Ooh, Mercedes. It's so shiny. And then it happened. I called my mom and I said, listen, I'm going to go car shopping. And she goes, where are you going? And I was like, well, I'm going to go test drive this Honda, and then I'm going to go over to Mercedes because Pam told me I need to lick the leather, and I'm going to go lick the leather. I'm going to sit in this thing, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a picture of myself licking the leather, and I'm going to put it on my dream board, and that's going to be the next thing I got. And my mom literally said to me, Sarah, you're not going to buy a Mercedes. And I was like, OB, please. Oh, no. Like, I got off the phone. I didn't even go to Honda, guys. I did not even go. I got pre-qualified through Mercedes, walked in and was like, that one. Bought it and walked out. Didn't even know how to freaking pop the hood. By the time I got it over to the redneck's house, my dad's like, oh, lift the hood, kid. And I was like, oh, which button does that? Because I didn't do that before we left the dealership. So your urge is going to be to settle, but I'm going to try to urge you guys not to, because settling, I mean, you're always going to wonder what life could have been. If you know what you want, you get to decide at any point who you're going to be in this next season of life. That's always something I ask myself every month, pretty much. I say, what kind of a leader am I going to be this next season of life? What kind of person, what kind of wife, what kind of woman? And I sit there and I'll write it down, and I'll be like, what kind of a wife am I going to be? I'm going to be more loving. How can I be a more loving wife? I spend more quality time. Okay, what kind of a leader am I going to be? I want to give back more. I want to be servant. I want to lead by example. So I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to have 1-to-1 missions. I'm going to pour into my leadership. I'm going to do Zooms with my downline. Okay, now what am I going to do to move towards my dreams? Well, you know, I start looking at my dreams and pick 1, 2, or 3 and decide for that next season who I'm going to be. So while you guys are looking at your charts and you're looking at, now some of you I know like will fill in the boxes, because I was guilty of this. You'll fill in the boxes with people who might sign, right? And then it's like the 9th right now. So you're sitting back and you're like, sweet, look at all these boxes. I'm doing awesome this month. And then you start getting in that place of need where every day that goes by, you're like, hey girl, so remember when you said you were interested in the business, and like, let's talk about that. Are you ready to get started? And you pull out every one-liner that you've got, and they're just still sitting there on the fence, and you're still sitting there staring at their name in the box. One way that's worked for me so that I can keep their name and I see it so I can keep up with it is I dry erase my charts, and I keep 2 different colors. Green, well actually I have 3. I have green, black, and red. So red is a prospect, black is somebody who's there, and green is someone who's commission qualified. So that all throughout the month I can kind of keep up with everything. After 3 attempts of trying to get in contact with someone, and I'm talking 3 attempts in the same like week or 2 weeks, if they're not hopping off the fence, the last card that I pull is, hey, Amy, I know we've been talking about this business. You said you wanted to join because of X, Y, and Z. And if you don't know what X, Y, and Z are, then that's your first problem. You're not asking questions. You're talking too much. You don't know what they want, why they want it, and how you can help them. And that is so important to be able to bring that value. So if you don't know X, Y, and Z, then the only next question I have is, what's holding you back from joining my team today? Is there something I haven't told you? Is there just a question that's burning in your heart? And a lot of times I like to send that through a voice message, because I channel my yellow, you know, calm myself, because through text you might see me and be like, she's totally coming at me. And I like to throw in little stickers and like funny little gifts to kind of break it up, because I want you to think, you know, I'm in the friend zone. I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to sign you. I can talk anyone into signing up. That's called sales. I learned that skill. That was one of the first skills I learned my first year. There's 7 skills you need in the business. And if you don't know what they are, you need to go read GoPro by Eric Worre and freaking learn them. Pick one each year. By the time you're in as long as I am, you're a freaking master, right? 7 years to go Ambassador Diamond or 7 years to go Black Diamond, worth it, right? Shoot, 17 years.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
What was the name of the author that you said?
Eric Worre.
Worre, okay.
Worre. And be careful because, you know, he is a networking guy, so he will try to sell you stuff. He will put you on an email list, stuff like that. But just go after the GoPro book. I think you can even get it free online in some places. The Audible is okay. I have the Audible and I have the book because as I'm listening to the Audible, this is the ADD. I'm like highlighting the parts that mean something to me. I like hearing it from the other person's perspective. Something about me talking to myself. I can't listen to my own advice a lot of times. I need somebody else to say it to me. So ask them what's holding them back, and if they still don't answer you, because either then they're going to tell you the truth. Let's say they come at you and they say money. My next question is money the only thing holding you back? Because that's always the first and the easiest excuse to throw out. And then it's time. Well, let me ask you a question. If you had more money, would you have more time? The answer is typically always yes, because they could quit one of their 3 jobs or they'd be able to take a Saturday off. Or my presidential diamond now, all she wanted when she started with me was to be able to take a Friday off. She was a bartender. Okay. What do you make on tips on a Friday night? $300. Okay, that's 3, 6, 9. We need to make at least $1,200. So we got to get you to Emerald for you to be able to take Fridays off. Let's do it. And that was our goal. Focus on that. If it is money that's holding them back, and that's the only thing holding them back, you've got options. If they're local, throw a wrap party, right? If they're not local, then you need to say, how long has it been so hard for you to come up with $100? Can I ask you a personal question? How long has this been hard for you? Because that's also an insight right there. And I just like to get real with people. If you don't want to answer the question, that's fine. Because if they don't respond to me on those 3 points of contact, guess what? I take my little Sharpie or my little dry erase marker and I go, and I take their name out of a prospect box and I put it back on my prospect list. That's not my hundreds list. The hundreds list is always growing, always moving. The goal is that hundreds list is like more like a 100,000s list. Like you just keep it going. And then when, you know, beginning of the year comes and we do something crazy and I have to go back through my old leads, I will. I learned from Dana to put them on a Facebook list, which was awesome. So there's plenty of ways and plenty of things that you can do to grow your business and to learn more. Learn the 7 skills. If I could say anything, it would be pick one, and the one you need the most, like be honest with yourself and learn that one first before you move on. Because if you're anything like me, you can go, give me all the things and all the books. And if I would have just focused from my first year, I would know a lot more than I know now. It sounds like I know a lot, I know, but
you do.
Dana, is there? I've got notes on notes in front of me, but is there anything that you want to talk about, or any way you want to go with this?
I think the power of being a product to the product as well.
You know, that's interesting that you say that because.
And being commission qualified, especially because you've done all of this work. There is no reason you shouldn't get paid for the work you've done.
I mean, if you're not commission qualified, I'm assuming that this business is a hobby and it's not a business. And I wouldn't imagine that you'd be sitting on this Zoom. If you're sitting on this Zoom and you're not commission qualified, it's time to ask yourself, why am I treating this business like a hobby when clearly you want to be treating it like a business? You're not just getting on here for fun. We're not doing makeup tutorials right now, right?
Oh, can we do that soon?
Product of the products. You know what's interesting about that? Commission qualified guys, my team, you can't even get on the phone with me unless you're on an auto ship, period. That's it. I don't have time. Neither should you. Now there's a difference. Okay. There's a difference between not running an auto ship and that 1 month where things get really tough and you have to scrape by the BV. I have people on my team and I always say, if running this auto ship gets tight, you need to call me and we'll figure it out. I don't say, oh, instead of running your auto ship, you could do 150 PBV. No. It's always the auto ship. Auto ship is the law. That's what keeps you commission qualified. I'll tell you, we lost a $1,700 paycheck one time because a loyal customer returned Fat Fighters and we didn't catch it. And at the end of the month, I wasn't commission qualified. I don't care how much money it is, that hurts. $1,700 is a lot of money, and I lost it over Fat Fighters. So just run your auto ship and be a product of the product. It's the perfect way to do it, because my auto ship, I like every month I'm pacing. I'm like, where are my vitals? Where are my hair, skin, and nails? I've got things to do. Where's my cleanse? I have 3 auto ships every month, and I still use all that product. So I know if me and my husband, just a house of 2, are using those products on everyday things, then any one of you can afford to run one auto ship and become a product of the product. Here's what's crazy. So I'm doing this thing with my leadership group, and we're focusing on our RPM, right? Our results, RPM, results, purpose, master plan. So what do we want out of this business? What's our purpose? What drives us? What makes us go? And what's our master plan? How can we come up with our week plan, our 30-day plan, and our year plan, or at least until conference plan, to get to where we want to be? So we're making that 2% shift. We're doing that as leaders, and I really expect all of my team to be doing that too. It's perfect time of year. Kids are going back to school. Time for you to start paying attention to you and to your business. There's lots of people out there the kids are also going back to school, and they are looking for the opportunity. Christmas is coming. In fact, only 3 paychecks, 4 if you want to go shopping on December 15th. Things are getting crazy. And then after Christmas, before Christmas, we've got Thanksgiving, right, which is expensive in itself. And then we've got Christmas. And then after that is usually when all the credit card bills start showing up. So we have even more people who are interested in the business because now they have to pay off Christmas. So we're focusing on that master plan and things we can do. One of the things I asked them the other day was to look at this pie chart, and it was to rate themselves on how happy they are with certain parts of their life. Let me see if I can just pull this right here. One of them being physically, another one being financially, another one being spiritually, another one being like how happy are they in their relationships. And so I had them draw out. I don't have the exact one, but it's somewhere in here. I've got so many notes, guys. Notes on notes. Anyways, here it is. Okay. I had them make a little wheel. Like they drew a circle, and then there were 6 pieces of the pie, right? You got a pizza, and for each one, so financially, where are you at? And you draw a line. Relationships, where are you at? You draw a line. Spiritual, where are you at? Draw a line. Time, where are you at? Draw a line. Work, career, physical body, emotions, fill in the blanks, right? 6 things that mean something. And the one thing that came back consistently, where all of us were, that became a huge aha moment and almost an epidemic, is quite a few of us, myself included, were not happy with where their bodies were physically. Now, this is very disturbing to me on many levels. It's disturbing to me because we're not happy with where we're at. It's disturbing to me because we're not making enough progress or movement in that field to take care of that, to take care of ourselves. Oftentimes, it was a lot of moms who were saying that. It was a lot of caretakers who say that, a lot of my yellows. But also, it became a huge awakening that not enough of us are be a product of the product. After going out today, or this past week in Bradenton, a woman came up to me and she said, it's so good to see active people out there representing this product, because oftentimes I feel like I'm just seeing people at McDonald's and Taco Bell. And I'm like, well, I still love Taco Bell, and I ate a Big Mac last week, but I didn't tell you that. I just took my Fat Fighters. And so a couple of things. The image that we're putting out there as a company needs to be one of, we're working on ourselves. We're real people who are looking for real results with products that actually work. And to show that those products actually work, we've got to be a product of the product, right? Drinking your greens every day. I can count on one hand how many times I've been sick if it didn't come from, a beer bottle. One hand on how many times I've been sick in the past 6 years. focus on being a product of the product. Share yourself using it. Like, it's not enough to just post a picture of a bottle of Fat Fighters. I love the new corporate images, but people don't want to see them. They're sick of it. They want to see you. That's why they're friends with you on Facebook. They're not friends with corporate. They're friends with you. How do you use the product? What do you say about the product? How does the product make you feel? Not what corporate says, not what the website says. Keep it compliant. But if you guys follow me on Facebook, you know I use a lot of choice words, right? Like, I always try to make sure that I'm extra detailed when I'm talking about how well that probiotic worked last night or this morning, or what that Taco Bell was going to do to my thighs if I didn't take the Fat Fighters. You know, like, I always want my people, my friends, to feel like they're my friend. And so it's so important to be a product of the product, but to also be you while sharing it. And that goes with anything, whether it's with the business or the products. You don't have to be Sarah. You don't have to be Dana. And you definitely don't want to be corporate. You've got to find your voice, as quirky and funny, as unique as it is. You're your most perfect you right now. And if you knew just how powerful you were, you wouldn't be able to stop smiling. You guys are all just right on that brink of being able to recognize that you actually can create anything that you want to in life and in this business. But it takes getting intentional. It takes getting uncomfortable. It takes dreaming bigger, and it takes making the decision to move forward. I mean, every single one of Dana, you're breathing. So,
well, I was going to say that goes right into having the urgency, like we talked about before this call, and having that urgency of building relationships, but also taking that urgency with them and getting them a part of your team. Because I know I've been in the part that, I'm building this relationship, but I didn't move fast enough and they signed with someone else.
Mm-hmm. I just had that happen to me recently. One of the girls at my chiropractic office, I was building the rapport, right? I was wearing my stuff. I kind of told her what we did. I made friends with her on Facebook. Well, I never offered her the business. Luckily, she went to my Facebook and my link, but it was one of the very, very rare times, and one of the only times that that's happened to me. I've had people who have inboxed me and I not return a question, and they've immediately gone and signed with someone else. It's so important to just ask those questions, find out what's holding them back. Stop being chicken and take your business seriously and your dreams seriously, and just say, hey, girlfriend, what's holding you back? What do we need to get you from interested to invested? I don't know how many times I've said that. And it just always depends on the personality. Like, my goal is to be able to answer while talking to you in any form, whether you're my server at lunch today, you're my new friend on Facebook, or you're somebody because I'm going down my Facebook list and making it a promise to message all of them. I want to know, what do they want? Why do they want it? And how can I help them? And I don't just come out and ask that. I'm talking to you through conversation to figure that out. But if you have prospects on the fence, it's most likely because you don't know. You haven't done your job. You just put a little Facebook post out there and somebody liked it and you said, ooh, I have a prospect. You didn't talk to them about what they want or how you can help. And I think that's just the 2% shift that everybody can make, and to do it with urgency, knowing that we've got the $500 Ruby bonus right now, knowing that there's only 4 checks until Christmas, knowing that there's a $5,000 diamond bonus that maybe you might not be easily, might not be in the bag for you, but is there somebody on your team? Are you in an organization? Making those moves together as a team is so amazing, so much fun, and it's so powerful, not only for you, but for the people watching you, because I can tell you every major promotion that I've ever had on my team, it's taken an astronomical amount of people, volume, and distributors to do it. And not everybody's going to work, but my crew, I can name the same 10 people who have been promoting consistently for the past 3 years, because we kind of move together with every promotion. All right, you went Ruby, let's go Diamond. All right, you went Diamond, let's go Double. And we're making these moves happen, and it comes back to the urgency. In one sense of the word, if it doesn't work out today, remember, what is for you will not pass you, and you've got next month. But in another sense of the word, what are your dreams worth to you? And how much do you think you could help other people if you just had a little bit more urgency? If you said, I'm going to message those 4 prospects one more time tonight before bed, and if they don't respond to me, you know, tomorrow night, then I'm moving on. I mean, I literally just don't go back, Dana. I never go back on the list. You know what? I did go back on the list when you told me, hey, I went back through my old leads and I had this conversation like this and it worked for me. And I was like, you know what? It's been a really long time. I went about 6 months back through some of my prospects because my goal is you either get them off the fence or you don't. Like, there's no on the fence for you. You sign or you're not. You're a customer or you're a distributor. If you don't fall in either of those categories, that you're in the I heart you category. And hopefully the only reason I'm probably keeping you around on my Facebook is either because I love you or you're doing something amazing and you're a positive experience, you know, in my world. Otherwise, what is your Facebook list for? What are you so afraid of? How many of you have kids? Kids, lots of kids, right?
Yes.
How many of you can honestly say you gave it your best shot tonight when you go tuck them in? Awesome. That's not very good odds, just so you know. We got one. Woo! She's like, I'm sleeping good tonight. And I know it's early, sister, so there's a little bit more. One more. I know it's early in Utah, so you're not done yet, mama. Keep giving it all you got. You're going to meet somebody tonight that changes everything. That to me, I don't have children yet. My unborn children, literally, I can see their little eyes. I have to be able to say that I gave this my best shot. And that doesn't mean that every single day is going to be a good day, because you're going to hit brick walls, you're going to hit speed bumps, you're going to get stuck. But at a certain point, the goal is that every time you hit a speed bump or a brick wall or you get stuck, that it takes you less and less and less and less time to get over it, to the point where now when I hit a speed bump, it's just like I don't even feel it. I'm like, whatever, it didn't work, keep going. Whatever, she didn't join, keep going. Whatever, they quit, keep going. Nobody showed up at the party, guys got to schedule another one. You know, like, just let it be water off your back, have fun with it, and know that we are going on to be a $1 billion brand, and there's a lot of room at the top because there is no ceiling here. So even though we might have the rank of top 100, really what I think it's about is the paycheck and being able to double and triple and quadruple what you did last year. How many of you are new this year? Just a show of hands. Any newbies? Yeah, what's up, newbies? Awesome. There's a few of you. How amazing. Oh my gosh, that first year of business for me was so much fun. Just flew by. Dana, do you remember your first year in business?
Yes. I went double in 9 months, you guys, and now I know sometimes people sneeze and go ambassador. But I think the biggest thing I had, Sarah gave us the opportunity to talk to Pam Souter the other night, and my biggest aha moment that she had is it only took me 18 months to go triple diamond. Triple diamond is double diamond and 2 diamonds. That's a lot of work, and I don't know the math on that, so figure that out. And she said, but then you took your blinders off and you started comparing your journey to everybody else. Well, this person passed me, this person did this, and I did. And I will be the first to admit that I did. And now I look, okay, I haven't promoted personally for a long time. And that's something on my behalf that I get to look at. And so if you've gone several months, if you've gone a year, if you've gone past that and you haven't promoted, it's time to step it up and take things to a whole nother level. I know I am. I had a huge aha, ugly cry moment the other day with Pam, and I know that changed my business. Since then, I've enrolled 3 more distributors. I'm assigning 2 tonight if they follow up with our call time. And because I have my blinders on, I'm ready to run, and I know my team's ready to run. We just get to start running and tie up our shoes.
Yeah, and I think
year is amazing, and I'm going back to my first year of the steps to success and focus.
There are many. This business is very much like you're in a relationship with your business. You're an entrepreneur. You constantly have to be reinventing yourself. Like, your story is going to always kind of be the same. It's going to change along the way. I have many facets to my story now. but my why is still very much, pretty much the same. Like the reason why I got started and my why, two different things. Like there's the reason, the result that you want, and your purpose, right? My purpose is very deep rooted. I wanted to be the apple that fell from the tree, found a hill, and kept on rolling. Because at the end of the day, I feel like I'm probably the only shot this family has at breaking the cycle of being broke. And I think one thing we have to do is stop saying I have to go to work, and start saying you get to go to work with your bad self. Like, you get to. This is awesome. I have people that are complaining every day about their 9 to 5, and we get to wake up and work with us. Like, go on with it. Tell your story. And if you don't know your story, stop reading too hard into it, and just be you. One thing I think we don't have to do is, if you're like, nothing's wrong with me, I'm rocking, I gave it my best today, I've got a great story, I'm consistent, I'm growing. If you're making progress, I know that that's happiness. If you're not feeling that happiness and you look back over those categories that we talked about, it's probably true that if you said, okay, where am I financially today? Where was I financially 5 years ago? For me, that was a huge eye-opener to see really how far I had come in time, because I started doing what Dana was doing and comparing myself. But then to say, oh my gosh, like, look how far I've gone in this amount of time. If you've been in the business 3 months, look at the past 3 months. How far have I come financially? Am I where I want to be? If I haven't made that progress, let go of the guilt, the shame, the shoulda, woulda, couldas. There are a few things that hold us back, and I had that for us here. I won't even get into it. We'll do that on a different day. But one of those things is the I should. And I always say I should all over myself, because that's really what it is, right? It's crap. You don't need to carry around the guilt monkey. You need to recognize that you're worth it. But ultimately, I think before you can even step foot out of this Zoom tonight, whatever you're doing, just take a second, just a freaking minute, set an alarm, tell the kids to shut up for like 5 minutes, and just sit there and ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And a lot of times I have to ask myself more than once, because the first time I give the PC answer, like what everybody wants to hear, like the Miss America answer, right? The second answer, I'm like, okay, but I also want to do these incredible things and give back and help this many people. And then like the third answer is really where it's at, because that's where I'm like, all right, but for real though, I want to save the dolphins. I want to live in a nice house. I want to drive a fancy car. I want to have some clothes. I want to be able to give back whenever I want. I want to build a house down the road for that kid, that I met at the homeless shelter yesterday. Whatever it is, uncover all of that stuff. Just write it down and get it out. An exercise that I did for myself, and it's going to be my homework for you guys, other than just, it's early, so I don't even want to tell you just one more, because I know you're 3 hours behind me, and I've got just one more at 11 o'clock at night. So if I've got just one more, you guys have one more at least for every hour that you've got left before bed. And even when you're in bed, just decide one more, just message, hey girl, how you been? Boom, you did it. Go to sleep.
I love that. Sarah,
My activity for you, one second. My activity for you is I want you to write a note to your future self. Whether you want to write it or you want to record a little video, I want you to write a note to your future self. Or if you're sitting here today and you're like, I'm making a lot of excuses. I think it was Pam, maybe, Dana, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that said, turn on your camera and tell yourself why you're not working your business.
Yeah.
Because you'll be honest with yourself.
Where's Pam?
You might not be mean, you might not be honest with me or Dana. But if you turn on that video and you talk to yourself, you'll probably be pretty freaking honest. Go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and tell yourself how crazy all of that is. I did that one day because I struggled with negative self-talk. So in one day I wrote down all of the nasty things that I said to myself. That was stupid. I'd write it down. Idiot. I'd write it down. Gosh, you screw everything up. I'd write it down. Oh, you look fat today. I'd write it down. Then after one day, it was heartbreaking to see what I was saying to myself. Like it literally broke me down into tears. And when I tried to read it into the mirror, I couldn't do it. I knew none of that was the truth. And I realized just how much further I had to go in this brain of mine to get to Black Diamond. So you guys have a lot of homework tonight. But ultimately, I hope that what you leave here knowing is if you believe and you have faith and you trust the process and you take massive action, magic happens. Anything is possible. You want to quadruple your paycheck before Christmas? I think that's a great idea. We have 4 paychecks. How about we quadruple each time? The season is perfectly set up for you to do that as far as the business, the season's roller coaster goes. I've been in for 6 years now. I can spot when there's the highs and lows of business, our ebbs and flows. We're definitely coming into a huge harvest. Your goal is to pull as many carrots out of the ground as possible. Some have been hanging out there longer than others, and just start going. You're going to catch some weeds along the way, but just keep it going and figure out how many people you can sign before the end of this month. Loyal customers and distributors. I know Stacy Hoyer went through her friends list. She literally exported her friends list into Excel and sat there and made sure she made a note on every single one, made it all the way through her friends list. And before she even got to G's, already signed 30 customers. She got all the way to G and she went, I didn't even talk to these people about the business. I was like, what? Because then you start talking about the products. The one thing you always have to do is, oh, hey girl, I know we were talking about the cleanse yesterday and that you really are going to get started with the cleanse today. But before you sign up as a loyal customer, I just had to ask you, Dana, have you ever thought about the business or making some extra money? I think we'd make a really great team. And I just had to put it out there before you got started. And they'll tell you right away, oh no, I just want to be a customer. Oh, well, maybe. And then boom, what's holding you back? Because, for the $90 you're going to spend on your package, you could run your auto ship and be commission qualified every month on the team. Boom. Right?
I just love you.
I just love you. Nothing in this freaking country moves unless it's sold, guys. Walmart, Home Depot, Bed Bath Beyond, doesn't matter where you go. Freaking Girl Scout cookies. Nothing moves unless somebody sells it. We have a first-to-market product with an amazing company that has the biggest freaking heart with the best people. You have an incredible leader who leads from the front and always has. Literally, she's teaching my team on a regular basis how to be working through social media, following up, getting people off of the fence. So if you ever have any questions, it's time for you to clean the wax out of your ears and listen to your upline, because a lot of times this future Black Diamond is calling your upline like, hey, Dana, so you've been entering lots of little customers. Like, what have you been saying? She's like, I just asked if they wanted to try the product, this one, or this one. And I was like, that easy. To overthink it. Just listen to Dana. She's got you covered. And I love you.
I am committed to do that and take my team to a whole nother level. Sarah is taking our team. So you guys all know we are all on Sarah's team some way or another.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
She is going Black Diamond, and I'm committed to take our team with her. And so Sarah,
this is Black Diamond team, guys. It absolutely is. Dana, you're going to be walking across that stage as an ambassador. You guys are all going to be up there too. There's enough room for all of us on that white couch. I better see all of you shaking your booties at conference when they call you up. How many of you promoted? Come run across the stage. I want to be right up there in the front row with Dana, taking all the selfies and pictures and just celebrating you guys and hearing how many incredible stories have come to fruition because you all took action after you got off this life-changing Zoom, right?
The next stage is February 9th. That weekend, conference was announced. So you guys have now to promote, but February 9th, you can be walking across stage as whatever it might be. You guys might easily be presidential.
It's up to you. You just got to decide.
Up to you if what you want to do and run. I know people who have gone presidential in 4 months. I know people who went ambassador in 5 months and 31 days.
It took me 5 years, just so you know.
Everyone is different. It took Carla Burns 8 years. So there's all different stories on the stage. It's just up to you to be on that stage. So Sarah, thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us tonight and pouring into us like you have.
You're welcome,
Let's
sister.
Let's throw diamonds and rubies and
high fives.
And black diamonds. Everyone's black diamonds. So I love you.
Love you. Bye, guys.
Love you all. See ya.
Bye.